Hello, everybody. This is a budget breakdown slash behind the scenes slash anecdote of making my first movie, my first feature length movie. It's 40 minutes. It's called Oh, Let's Be Friends. Here's the poster. Painted it myself. If you haven't watched it yet, check it out on the channel. It should be pretty obvious, like where to find it. Just click on my channel and you'll find it. Review it on Letterboxd if you haven't already, or if you watch it and you want to. I'm gonna hold this here because I think it looks nice. Um, yeah, so I made my first movie, um, and I posted it right here on YouTube. I made it for no money. It's a no budget feature. I really truly made it for. I mean, the I'll get into it in the budget breakdown. So the only expenses on this movie were the microphones that I'm using right here. It's a lav mic and the receivers over there. It's a set of two, and it comes with like the actual lav that you plug in and stuff to this. I'm just being lazy and recording straight into this because I can. Um, so that because I didn't have that before. But that was kind of the whole kind of birthing of the idea for this movie was, I don't have access to a big crew. I don't have access to like huge amounts of money to make a movie. The locations are, I live pretty in a pretty area, and I was like, why don't I just use that surrounding me? And my good friend and fellow filmmaker is a great actor. I think I can hold my own for the scenes we need to do, so let's just cast ourselves. I'll do everything pretty much, and if we have these lav mics, then we don't need a sound guy, and we can just film wherever. And so that was kind of the whole idea, was to be able to do that. And so it felt kind of necessary. You don't, but even with buying this, you don't have to use this. You could, I think, the good trick, you can literally just stick your phone in your pocket and record like audio on there or something, or just like have it hidden somehow. There's always a way. But I just wanted to have like nice lav mics that I could invest in for the future. So those were an expense. We shot the movie on a camcorder that I already owned. And I have like a mini tripod, like a very cheap tripod that I used with it. So we would set the tripod up and, um, film ourselves in that way. So lavs are the only things I paid for. Camera I already had. Actors already had because it's myself and my friend Max who stars in the movie. That's supposed to be him. That's supposed to be me. I had longer hair at the time. Um, so the movie is about, if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it if you haven't. It's about two distant friends that are trying to, fix this estranged relationship they have. They're both filmmakers, and they decide to do that on a camping trip, a very short camping trip. So there's some campgrounds near where I live that like have like a day rate of like I think 20 or $40 for 2 nights or something. So I was like, that's pretty cheap. Like we could just do that. So we did. We didn't actually end up staying the night. The original point of the movie was we were gonna like sleep over and like film all night, but we were so tired that we decided not to. And we lived pretty close to the campground, so it wasn't like that much of a big deal. Um, but that was like a close resource, and it's out in nature and it has some pretty areas. So why not use that? Um, yeah, so we did the campgrounds. A lot of the movies shot in my car, just sticking the camera in the back and uh, driving and improving. That's another big thing with this movie. Pretty much everything was improvised. I did the story, the initial plans for the story. I did write out like story beats and scenes and maybe character things going on, but we didn't use any of it on set. We didn't have a script with us on set. Everything was basically in my memory and us changing things on the fly constantly. And it was so fun and freeing. And I think if you're making low budget stuff like this, it's kind of the way to go. Not maybe it doesn't work for everybody. Maybe people's brains are different, but especially if you're like acting and starring in your own movie, it's so helpful to just be like, no, we're gonna do this now. And even that, like, even have a collaborator come, like, my friend Max in this movie coming up with an idea and going, let's just do this. And I'm like, yeah, that's great, actually. Instead of having kind of like this red tape on maybe a more traditional, what they might teach in film school set, which would be like you have to, you like maybe the director would improvise stuff, but you have like the script and you have the script supervisor and you have to follow all these rules. And it's like, guys, this is art. Why are we following rules? The point of art to me is being able to express yourself and play. And I feel like in film school and a lot of it can be in any art form or any institution today, but everything's so heavily like mandated and set in certain ways, and you have to do things specifically, or else you'll never be recognized as doing it right or something. And there is no right way to do it. It's pretty silly to me. So that's another thing I wanted to kind of do with this movie was prove to myself that, and to hopefully other people that end up watching this, that yeah, you can go make a movie. You don't need a 50-person crew from your film school or from some guy some patron that gives you a bunch of money for. You can do, look, there's nothing wrong with kind of going the more traditional routes, especially like I think another thing that sticks out for this movie is distributing it straight on YouTube. If you're the more traditional ways, film festival, get it into a film festival, make connections, maybe some lucky agent, you'll meet somebody and they'll wanna buy or distribute your movie for you. And um, I just think that way of going about it can be pretty outdated for people that don't have like any connections at all. Like Sundance is a great example. Sundance used to be this. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's always been big, but I feel like the idea of a film festival. I'll use Sundance as an example. Is it's supposed to be where people who have no pull yet are trying to get their work seen. And I feel like that maybe used to be the case, like maybe early 2000s mumblecore, even the 90s, like Linklater and Tarantino and those guys. Um, I'll use Mark Duplass as an example, the mumblecore guys. They get their movie, they get the puffy chair, I think, into Sundance, right? And it was pretty revelatory at the time. But I don't think you could get a movie like the puffy chair into Sundance anymore unless like your dad's uncle's friend is like Brad Pitt or something. You know what I mean? Um, so I feel like YouTube is just such this beautiful place where you can just dump stuff. I'm heavily taking from Joel Haver and some of the folk filmmaking movement. If you've seen any of that on YouTube, if you haven't, I highly recommend you go watch all their stuff. So Joel Haver, Dan Lotz, and Pearlmark Films, I think his channel is called now. Um, there's a bunch of other like there's so many people that make films under the folk filmmaking banner, and I think all of them are great and um, are really cool, and you should go check them out if you haven't. Um, but I feel like posting on the internet is such a pure way of doing it, and not that again, not that anything's wrong with going the more traditional routes, but I think there needs to be routes for people who want to express themselves and want to get their art out into the world, and especially as I th- I think there's going to be more of a bridge between the mainstream media of like Hollywood, the old Hollywood, and they're already trying to, emulate a lot of the internet and, getting people from podcasts on to interview people at the carpets and stuff. And um, I feel like because Hollywood's so so bankrupt in their ideas and probably relying on AI. I think the Stranger Things finale is a great example of that, of this $400 million production that falls flat on its face, at least in my opinion, um, and just struggles to make a cultural impact in the way that it used to when it was limited and was a smaller budget for its time and when it first started airing. Um, so I already think Hollywood's going to try to emulate the kind of things that are going on the internet. So why not post your movie for free? Um, Not that you can't make money off your art, but I don't know. I think if especially you got to practice, right? I'm not saying this movie is the best movie ever. There's some jank to it, but I'm really proud of the jank. We going back to maybe the production stuff. We shot it in like 5 days, technically, probably less than like 5 4-hour days, probably. Um, over the course of a month just because of like getting it. So when Max and I were both free. Um, and then it probably took me about a month of editing, so maybe like 2 weeks of editing, but I just got busy with the holidays, so it was harder for me to sit down and edit every day. But if I think if you condensed everything to like being in a row, 4 hour days of shooting probably, um, and maybe like 2 weeks of in a row of editing, I would say. And that's pretty fast turnaround for a movie. Most mainstream movies are, insane. Like they take fucking 2 or 3 years to make. Um, anyway, so I'm kind of losing my train of thought, but I think it's really important to make no budget stuff, watch no budget stuff, especially as I want to make more movies. I have some more planned on the way, and I think just the more I make, the better I'll get. And I'm excited to see where that takes me. And hopefully one day you can get to see this in a theater. I don't know how I'll do that. I think like four wall. I think where you rent a theater and you try to make the tickets you sell. I don't know. Who knows? But for now, this movie's gonna be on YouTube. It will be forever. Maybe the more movies I'll make, I'll consider making DVDs or something. I don't know. But this is my passion, and I care about it so much. Movies are so healing, any art form, but movies specifically are so healing to me. And making one was one of the best things I've done for my soul and my heart and my mind recently. Um, so yeah, if you're an aspiring filmmaker, I hope this can give some lessons to you in case you want to make a movie. Just do it. I'll watch it. Send it to me. Yeah. Um, yeah, I love movies. Movies are awesome. Go watch Oh Let's Be Friends if you haven't yet. Um, and yeah, I'll keep updates about my next movie. Working on it already. It's gonna be improvised again. It's gonna be I'll try to keep. I want to keep it tight-lipped of what it is. Not that I have much of a following, but in case anybody is looking forward to it, maybe I'll keep it a little bit of a secret. But it's gonna be really fun. I'm gonna try to shoot it very soon. So looking forward to making more stuff. Go watch some movies. Go make a movie. Go hug your friend. And I'll see you later.